Butts fans, their next guest made a special appearance on Hockey Night in Canada. He also got the Hockey Night in Canada towel, got an interview with Scott Oak. He got to play in an NHL game, and he's a goaltender with the U of A Golden Bears. We'd like to welcome Matt Berlin to the 2 Months podcast. Matt, how's it going?
I'm doing really good. Yeah, on top of the world right now.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. I guess
Enjoy
like
it.
obviously you did a midterm the other day. I heard you with Stoff there. How did things go? We'll start with the school stuff first. How are things going in the school side?
School's good. I ended up getting 80 on the midterm, so I was pretty happy with that for the lack of studying I had. So
Yeah,
yeah, it all worked out. It was fine.
nice, nice. Oh, that's good. That's good. I guess the last couple of days, have you been able to kind of just relax a bit and kind of just enjoy life? I know you've been asked, you're on the NHL Network and other interviews, but has things kind of settled down, or are there things still getting pretty busy for you here?
In terms of like my phone blowing up, that started to settle down, which is nice. It was I had it on Do Not Disturb for the last like couple of days because it was just going crazy. But
Yeah,
yeah, no, it's starting to quiet down now, and I can just kind of I'm starting to actually realize what happened. And the more I see the video, the more it sets in that I was actually on the ice because at the beginning there when I was thinking about it, it didn't really feel real.
yeah, no, for sure. Clay, go ahead there, bud. Pass the puck over
Put
to you.
us, let everybody know what it was like when you found out. Put us in Maddie's body for 24 hour, whenever you found out
That I was going to be the e-bug or when I was going on
that
the ice.
when you were going to be the e-bug from the beginning.
So I last year during the playoffs, the Oilers playoff run, I was their e-bug for the entire run. So I just got to go and watch every game and go to the press box and have a free meal every night. So it's a it's a pretty good gig. So yeah, no, Sean May texted me on Saturday morning, who's a PR guy for the Oilers, and he just said we need an e-bug tonight. Like, are you interested? And I was like, yeah, sure, I'll do it because I wasn't playing with like my team had a game that night. The Bears had a game, but I wasn't supposed to be playing that one. So I asked my coach, and it was fine with him. So yeah, I went about my day because it was nothing out of the ordinary. I had done it before, just being in the press box, and then about 4:30. Sean texted me again and just kind of went, the Skinner's a little bit sicker than we thought, and he's not even coming to the rink. So we need you to we need you to back up and be on the bench and take warm-ups and all that. So I was freaking like fired up. Like
Yeah,
called my parents, yeah, called my parents, called my girlfriend. I was like, you guys won't believe what's happening. And yeah, the night would have just ended with that, with me just kind of getting to be around the guys and be in a locker room and take warm-ups. It would have been probably still the best night of my life, but I ended up in the game. So pretty special, but it was a little bit hectic getting the contract signed because so I found out like 4:30 and the contract needed to be signed at 5 and into the league by then, which I was like, oh, that's not a problem. I'll just sign it and send it right back. But you need a witness to sign off on the contract, and my parents were out of town. So I was like, oh shit, like who am I gonna get to sign this?
yeah, yeah.
Um, so my brother lives across the street. I called him. He wasn't home. So I ran to my neighbor's house. They weren't home. Um,
No,
Oh man.
Your dreams
this is
dwindling
insane.
away.
Yeah,
yeah. I'm like, oh my God. Now I got like 15 minutes. I'm like, oh crap. And so I call my girlfriend. I'm like, how fast can you get to my house? Like,
Yeah.
so she ended up saving the day and ripped over and got it signed, and we got it sent in time. So, uh, yeah, so that was all fine. And then, yeah, I get to the rink, and um, right when I walked in, it was like showtime. Like
Yeah.
I put my bag down and I was gonna start unpacking it, and then like all the equipment guys were like, no, 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 get out of here. Like we'll take care of this.
To get the
And then
NHL treatment for sure.
oh my
Yeah.
God, it
Yeah.
was so nice. Yeah,
Yeah.
like they do everything.
Yeah.
They're like the best. It's
Yeah.
unbelievable. So yeah, then I got introduced to the guys. I met like Campbell was the first guy I met, and as I'm sure you've probably heard, he's the nicest human on the earth.
Yeah.
Yeah, gave me a big hug and just kind of said, we're going to enjoy this and we're going to have lots of fun tonight. And he was right. We sure did have lots of fun. But yeah, and then I just kind of went about tried to do some stretching and played some sewer ball with the guys prior to the game, and just kind of took it all in, like the preparation that they're doing and all that. And I got a rookie laugh, which I wasn't expecting either. So that was pretty cool.
How did that come about?
Um,
How did that come about? Did that was like did they come to you before and said you're gonna get this kind of treatment too? We have one of our co-hosts wants to join in. He's just waiting on the line here, but so See, another guy will jump in. But yeah, talk about the rookie lap there. If you can.
Yeah, so we were just have you seen the Oilers doors, how they kind of like they slide open and then you walk through?
Yes.
So we were just all everyone was standing there waiting for the doors to open and go out for warm up, and I think it was McDavid or Barry was like, rookie lap, girls, get up here. And I was like, come on.
Yeah.
And then the doors open. They were like, yeah, you got 5 seconds. Doors are opening. I'm like, okay, I guess we're going. So yeah, I did that, and I didn't even know which side was their home side. So I was like, I don't even know which way to turn here. And then their trainer was like throwing pucks off the bench onto the ice, and I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna step on one of these for sure, and I'll go viral for all the wrong reasons here. But no, so that was super exciting. It was super cool. Yeah, and then I don't know, just the game was obviously super fun to watch, and being on the bench, being with all the guys out there was a pretty cool experience in itself. And then yeah, the 10-minute mark in the third period is when I got told that I was going in around the 3-minute mark, and that was a pretty exciting moment.
You had
obviously.
no clue. You had no clue.
None, no idea. Like there was no like, hey, we're thinking this might happen. Like the game's getting a bit of a runaway. Like you might go in. No, it was just apparently the conversation was going on at one of the TV timeouts between like McDavid, Campbell, and coach, and I had no idea. I was just, I guess, caught up in the moment. Wasn't even paying attention.
Awesome.
And yeah, so I got the tap, and that's when the heart rate spiked a bit, and had to had to start trying to get myself a little bit loosened up and prepared to go in. But yeah, no, so super exciting, and obviously getting on the ice, the crowd erupted. It was unbelievable. Yeah, and I kind of just blocked out from there, but it was super, super cool.
Did you have any like family and friends at the game that you kind of can get last minute to get there? Obviously you talked about your parents were away, but any other family that were there and your girlfriend there to support you too?
Yeah, like I said, my parents were out of town, but yeah, the Oilers
support
gave me
him. She's a hero.
Yeah, she saved the day.
Yeah, she did. Yeah.
Yeah, so my girlfriend and her brother came to the game, and like I said, like the Oilers are a total first class organization, like treated me so well, and they ended up bringing my girlfriend down to the family room after the game, and I met her there, and then they invited her into the dressing room and gave her a tour of the room afterwards. So that was super cool that she got to kind of experience that with me.
Yeah.
And of the boys, any Bears make it? Oh yeah, I guess they were playing. Never mind.
Yeah.
No, so they were playing, but our game was at 7 and the Oilers game was at 8. So they were all Saturday night at home. They were all out at the bar, and the game was on on the TV in the bar. So they caught the third period when they were having some drinks together, and nice. I hop on the ice, so they were pretty fired up. Yeah.
Wicked.
No, so yeah, if you can talk a bit about that, like how that experience was with your teammates. Obviously, kind of support the support you guys get, and that I think what's cool about the U of A is like how many players have been a part of the NHL and the U of A have transitioned over, and then Derek Ryan's one of the big famous ones there in that picture of you guys together. If you can talk a bit about the connection that you have with the teammates and how awesome that was and their support for you in this pretty cool moment.
Yeah, it was unreal. We have a team group chat with all our coaches and everything, just for stay like on the same page with everyone, and I checked my phone after, and it was blowing up. All the guys were so fired up. So yeah, it was pretty cool. And then the next morning, or no, I guess Monday morning, we had practice, and we practiced really early. We practiced at like 7:30 to 7:45 in the morning, and usually the goalies are like the first guys there, so I got to just hang out with my goalie partners for a little bit and tell them about it, and then the players started trickling in a little bit later, and yeah, they were all fired up, lots of hugs and laughs, and it was kind of just like a big storytelling. Like I was just telling the whole team kind of what went down, and all those little stories from inside the locker room that the boys love to hear. So yeah, no, they were incredibly supportive and so happy for me, and it was pretty cool to have the support from my team.
Right. Rupper, you got any questions there? Yeah, I know you just joined us now.
No, sounds like an incredible experience. I didn't even catch this guy's name. I've been kind of living under a rock lately.
So it's Matt Berglund. So definitely not.
I'm just joking. I'm just joking.
Oh, Rupper. So, no, yeah, sorry about that. We'll have to edit that part out. This guy, I know he's full of jokes.
Oh, we're not editing anything out.
No, that's good. That's
no, so Phil, I know you want to talk about the great year that you're having. I know Stauffer was telling me about you, and he said that you've been having a really good season with U of A when you do get in the lineup there, but and you've been progressing every year. I was actually talking to Matt Benning tonight too, and you obviously played with his brother over with the Crusaders. But Phil, go ahead there. You got some questions.
Me and Bosco actually played ball hockey with a guy who got to be a e-bug one night, and he didn't even get to leave the dressing room, and I thought that was a cool story. But so yeah, pretty awesome stuff. But I was just gonna ask you, how's your season going with the U of A this year?
We're doing not bad. We're obviously with the program the way it is, we're always striving to be. We want to be sitting number one, and we're not. I think we're second in the league right now, and fourth or fifth in the country, which is obviously it's fine. It's been a really successful year. Just had a couple off weekends, and it kind of bit us in the butt. But the league is really good this year. A lot of the other teams, a lot of like the UFC is obviously an incredible team. I think they're on like a 22-24 game heater right now, so they're just above us. But yeah, no, it's been a good year, and I'm excited. It's our bye weekend this weekend, and then we have just 2 more games, and then playoffs start. So looking forward to getting the run going, and hopefully we can make it to nationals as last year, but get the job done this year.
No, that's awesome.
Nice.
For your guys' season this year, are you going back to the U of A next year for school? Like, how many more years do you have of what you're taking right now?
Yeah, I just have 1 more year for my undergrad, and then I'll be done.
Yeah.
So just about there. Yeah.
Yeah. And then is there any kind of talks that you would like to kind of go pro here and try to see what you can do? Either getting with the AHL and NHL kind of contract, or maybe overseas. Is something you've talked to your family and friends about that for you?
Yeah, I've been going like kind of back and forth. It would just depend on where it was and the deal that I got, basically, because I want to be an eye doctor, so it's another 4 years of school. So if it was some like pretty low league with like not much pay, I'd probably just go to school. But if I was able to get a solid deal somewhere that I wanted to play, like either in a nice city in Europe, or obviously the American League would be incredible. I'm not sure if that's going to happen, but if it was a good deal somewhere nice and I was able to go experience Europe or somewhere in the States, for sure I would consider it. Yeah, but yeah, it just depends on what opportunity that arises.
Yeah, and the reason why I asked is because when I talked to Stoff and a few others, is your numbers have been trending pretty good, and you've been getting to that level every year as you go on here. And I know with goaltenders, it's that's usually how it is in a way. I guess they kind of just get better as the years go on. So I just was wondering what your thoughts were of like moving forward as in the pro side of things. But yeah.
Well, how can he not get signed? He's got 1,000% save percentage.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Bosco,
in the NHL.
Yeah,
I was just checking out the stats. I'm just checking out the stats here, and you're talking like I'm retiring after 1 game. Like you want this guy to go pro? He's already played pro.
Well, live on
1,000 GAA for God's sakes. That's Hall of Fame numbers, bud. That's Hall of Fame numbers.
226 isn't a Hall of Fame number for
no. But yeah, I guess we'll kind of go back to that. Is like we hear a lot of cool things about McDavid and how humble he is, and a lot of those guys in the room. If I know some things need to kind of be kept within, but if there's a way you can kind of bring us in, and the character that those guys have and what they bring, and what you learned from them in the short time you were kind of around them too.
Yeah, they're just total pros and real genuine guys. McDavid, I think he was the second guy I met, and just a total class act. He like best player in the world, and he was treating me like I was like one of his actual teammates. So made me feel pretty special. And obviously, I think you guys have probably heard that it was McDavid's idea to actually get me in the game, and he got the ball rolling on that. So it definitely speaks to the character of him and the leadership crew and the staff of that team for thinking of me and giving me an opportunity like that. So yeah, no, super good guy, and was super inclusive. Like he was like, come play some sewer ball with the guys and just.
Okay, what's sewer ball? Because there's kids on like kids. I got a 14-year-old and an 11-year-old, and they listen. I need to know what sewer ball is, because they're gonna want to probably play it next game.
So it's just the teammates just kind of get in a circle, and they have a soccer ball, and it's just basically like keep up, and you're just trying to like get guys out. If you like touch the ball last and it hits the ground, then you're out. So it's basically just a big game of keep up.
All right.
Yeah, and it's a pretty classic, like before the game, kind of like a warm up, stay loose type of thing. Yeah. So yeah, he invited me to play that. No, go ahead.
Go ahead. You go ahead.
Oh yeah, you just just invited me to do that, and was really talking to me on the bench and chatting with me afterwards, and yeah, no, it was a great guy, and to be the best player in the world, be that humble and treat a university player like one of his own, it was pretty special.
Yeah, definitely.
Probably doesn't even feel real, hey?
No.
And
like
I was gonna say, what does it actually look like from the goaltender's perspective of McDavid coming in on you, because you took warm up, right?
Yeah. It actually happened pretty quick. So like I was getting, like, the backup goalie doesn't get many shots in warm up,
right?
So it was kind of just like the last 5 minutes of warm up. I got like it was like the half moon, kind of just like a couple shots, and McDavid was the last one, and I didn't even like the pass kind of went out to him, and then I saw like he was at like the top of the circles kind of, and then instantly he was right on top of me, and I was like, oh my god, it's like it happened so quick, but but yeah, I think he actually hit the post, so he didn't score, so I got that one.
Yeah, nice.
Perfect. Another notch on the resume, right?
Yeah, save percentage is good in warm ups too. So
yeah.
How Matt, how much did you soak in? Just sitting there kind of on the bench, and did you have time to just say, okay, well, this is how a pro hockey player, conducts his day. This is how they act in the dressing room. This is how they act on the bench. Was there time for you to just sit back and just take some notes and be like, okay, well, this is the next level. This is something I want to do, and I see how I got to do it. Like, is that something that crossed your mind at all?
Totally, yeah, definitely. I was definitely watching all the guys in the room and how they prepare and what goes into a game day for those guys, and they're just total pros about everything. Like the food they're eating there in the room, it's all super good for you, pure like fuel, and the drinks they're drinking, a lot of electrolytes and all that. But yeah, no, and even the preparation side of things, it was pretty dialed in that locker room, and obviously the Oilers are trending in the right direction, so I think that speaks to some of that. But yeah, even on the bench too, like it was all positive, and Woodcroft, super positive coach, like coming in between periods and stuff was super positive. So that was obviously, like, I think the guys kind of rally behind that, and the vibes in the room were unreal. But yeah, no, I definitely was noticing how the players conduct themselves and carry themselves for sure.
How long did it take to drag you out of that dressing room after the game? I know I'd probably hang in there for a day or two. I can't even believe you're doing podcasts and newspaper articles. Did you get a hot tub in? Like that bathroom they have there is something else, dude. Like, I never seen anything like that in my life.
Well, the bathroom is crazy. Did you know their urinals light up depending on how hydrated you are?
It's not.
What?
It's wild. Oh yeah. Yeah, green, yellow, or red. If you're hydrated, it's green, and if you're not, it lights up red. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. But no, I wasn't in there for too long. Actually, actually, everyone was undressing in the showers by the time I even got my jersey off, because I had a lot of interviews right after the game. But no, I got my gear off and we kind of just hung out. I was talking to some of the guys while they're kind of just doing their post game routine, stretching out and rolling out, and it was nice to just chat with the guys when it was a little bit less preparation going on and focus. It was a little bit looser, so that was lots of fun. And then a lot of guys were actually heading out. They were catching flights for the All-Star break, or they flew out early the next morning. So a few of them took off pretty quick, but there was definitely a handful of guys, including myself, who had a couple pops afterwards. So that was pretty fun to go out with them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. I was going to ask, were there any interactions with the Blackhawks players?
No, there wasn't, and I've been asked that before, but I don't think so. I feel like I would have remembered that, but no, there wasn't.
Yeah. No, and how cool was it kind of to even just be on the ice at the same time and seeing, the great guys like, that's won multiple Stanley Cups in Chicago, and kind of share that ice, and could also be pretty up and close when you're before you got the call, to see like Taves and Kane and the rest of the great group that they got there too.
Oh yeah, unbelievable! Like to be sharing the ice with McDavid, Draisaitl, Kane, Taves, like the list goes on. It was and there I am, just a university player in the net there. But no, unbelievable. It was just like surreal, and like I said, it didn't. I don't think it really even set in, or maybe it even hasn't really set in yet. Just with, but
No
like
kidding.
the more, yeah, like it hasn't. I haven't really like. I don't know. When I see the video, I'm like, oh, okay, it happened. But like when I'm just thinking about it, I'm like, I don't really even remember that much. Like it was like
Yeah.
it was like the fastest, slowest 2 minutes of my life. It was really weird, but obviously an unbelievable experience.
And one shot
Hey, what are you
against.
guys doing after the game? Hey, what are you guys doing after the game next week? Oh, we're going to the All-Star game. What are you doing? I got a math test.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no kidding.
Going to travel.
I was hoping maybe one of the guys had an extra seat on the PJ for their vacation or something.
Exactly. Go to Turks and Caicos with McDavid and Drysdale and Sam, right? So
yeah, that wouldn't be bad.
No, exactly. No, I think it's a pretty cool. You know, we've seen this happen a little bit throughout the NHL, and you know, the first time we've had someone on that's experienced that. When you've been in this situation, because you've been at the rink before in these situations, haven't you? So has it ever crossed your mind? And you know, is there, you know, when you were able to get the opportunity, just sitting there and seeing how grateful that opportunity is, you know, can you talk about a bit about that?
Well, little known fact, actually, at one of the games, so I was the e-bug for one of the Oilers, like maybe fourth last regular season game last year, and they were playing Colorado, and that was a game that Francois or Francouz, I forget how to pronounce his name.
Yeah,
he took a puck to the face. He was backing up and took a puck to the face.
On
so
the bench, I think, right?
On the bench, yeah.
I think I remember, yeah.
So I had to go and get dressed for Colorado. Like I have a Colorado jersey as well. So yeah, and back then I was like, oh my God, that was insane. Like this, I was so close to beat an NHL game. So yeah, I've been in a similar experience, but that one was actually pretty nerve wracking because that was after like a month after our season had ended and hadn't been on the ice in a month, hadn't done a stretch in a month. And there I am. If Kemper goes down, I'm playing for Colorado. So.
Exactly.
And against McDavid too, it would have been. So that would have been
a little bit of a
tricky.
Yeah. Can you talk about the relationship, if you can share the relationship between the Alberta Golden Bears and the Edmonton Oilers, and how special that is? You know, I know that, you know, over the years it's grown and grown and grown, but where it's at now and the support you guys get from that group too.
Yeah, totally. No, I think it's pretty cool. And obviously Edmonton being Edmonton, it's a huge hockey market, and the Oilers and Bears are two, obviously, like obviously the Oilers is a huge name in Edmonton, but the Bears are pretty well known around the city, and it makes it even more special that Derek Ryan is a former Bear, and he comes to a lot of our games, and sometimes he'll bring some of the other players, but him and his family are there quite often, and it just shows that it shows the support that the Oilers have for us, and they do a lot for us, I think, in terms of just like some marketing stuff and all that. So yeah, it's pretty cool that we got two great programs in such a good hockey city.
Yeah. There's one thing I saw you retweeted and shared on your social media was when you guys got to play the Ukrainian team and how special that was. You know, I got pretty close here through the church I go to with the Ukrainian family, and their 13-year-old son is playing hockey right now. And at the start of the year, he got to meet Tyler Toffoli and Milan Lucic, who've been on our podcast before. But how special that game was to share the ice with that team, and kind of the camaraderie that you guys had after the game too.
Yeah, so unfortunately, I didn't end up breaking my finger, but I thought my finger, like the practice before, I took a shot at the finger and they thought it was broken, so I was waiting on some X-ray results during that game. So I didn't even get to play in that game, which is too bad. But I was still there, and it was sold out rink, like unbelievable, Ukrainian flags everywhere. And it was a super cool experience. It was probably one of my favorite games I've seen in our rink. And I've never cheered so loud when we got scored on, and that place that place blew up. So it was super special, and just getting out there and talking and mingling with the guys, and even after the game too, just chatting with them, and it's a super special moment, and it's awesome how hockey can do that and bring guys together.
Yeah, for sure. You guys got anything you guys want to add before we let Matt go here?
Matty, you're a Southside alum, right?
Yeah, I like your background.
Yeah, man. Trev and I both played there, coached there for a bit. Yeah, no, I got nothing else. I just, congratulations on everything, pal. Enjoy it and soak it in, and best of luck to you in the future.
Yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Yeah,
it's been quite the wild ride lately.
Yeah, for sure. Well, hopefully you get some rest here, and but enjoy it. And when the team's back, probably see you back at the rink and maybe a fan capacity and whatnot. And all your beers will be paid for then. So, but this market works. They probably will do stuff like that. But Phil and Rupert, you guys got anything you guys want to add before we sign out here?
Thanks for coming on, man. It's awesome talking to you.
Yeah, for sure. I appreciate you guys having me on. It's awesome.
Perfect. All right. Rupper's a man of few words. He's sipping on this wine. He's having a good night. So, all right. Thanks, Matt, for joining us.
Showing us his feet. Your fucking feet out of there, man.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I'm watching a game on TSN here. It's Calgary and Regina.
Yeah.
And it's some kid named Bedard. Is that how you say it? Bedard?
Connor Bedard.
Yeah, I'm not too sure about that guy anyways, but Bedard? Yeah. Anyways, that's sorry.
All right. Thanks, Matt, for joining us, and all the best to you going forward, buddy.
Yeah, thank you so much, guys. Appreciate you having me on.
Yeah. Welcome back to the 2 Months Podcast presented by BioSteel. I'm your host, Joshua Marshall. Tonight we got Clay Vanderham with us. Vandy, how's it going?
Vandy is dandy.
That's good.
I am good. It's been a good week, a good weekend. I am officially out of the sin bin of coaching, so I'm back on the bench, and away we go.
Nice. That's good.
Can we get a backstory, or we've already had a backstory? This is minor hockey.
He teased,
okay,
but he said he had to wait a bit.
The backstory is right before Christmas. One of our players, who's one of our more aggressive players, a kid that never gets injured, got injured. The ref was skating up the ice, turned around, didn't blow his whistle. And me and my brother Darcy, who I coach with, U15, ran onto the ice and started yelling profanities and everything. And as we're running onto the ice, before this, remember the play's still going on. Before the linesman's like yelling and screaming at us as we're running to our player, like if you picture it in slow-mo, he's yelling and then we're trying to attend to the player. And he's still yelling over us. Anyway, it happened. And yeah, it was in the last 10 minutes. That's the only reason. I got 5 games for I think
sticking up for your player.
Yeah, but I was
injured.
I can't remember what I called him. It was anyway, I got 5 games, all because kids never do anything in the last 10 minutes of a game because it'll cost you an extra 2.
Yeah.
So I got 5 games, and then you factor in minor hockey week and all that crap. Yeah, I pretty much the whole month of January was a lot on the bench. Both my U11s and U15s. So
were you allowed?
How'd minor hockey week go?
Our little guys were 2-0, and the big boys went to quarterfinals. I think it was. Yeah, 3.
So,
they were. Yeah.
I missed minor
basically.
Hockey.
Yeah,
so
me
fun,
too.
Dude. It is.
So basically,
I think it's an ass backwards tournament. They promote fair play, blah 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 blah, but they go to 1-on-1. So essentially, it comes down to your best players.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like that's why I just whatever. If you win it, fantastic. If you don't, ain't the end of the world. So
and it's always it's always close games because it's only an hour, right?
It
Running
is.
time.
Yeah.
There's no runaways. Time. Everything's 3-2 and 4-3.
Yeah.
And so basically, Nash's team, your youngest, was 2-0, and I came out to practice before.
To help work Rupper.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
so I'll be out next
Kinnell.
Thursday
blame
again.
Kinnell. We'll just blame Kinnell.
Yeah.
Because John Kinnell took over.
All right, let's finish off the introductions here. So we got Phil Stockley. Phil, how's it going?
Oh, we did. I thought you introduced everybody.
No, I didn't yet. No.
Where are we at?
We're at the start of the pod. So is where we're at.
Okay.
So, Phil, how's it going?
It's going good. Doing pretty good. Still still pretty on top of the world after that Ron McLean interview. It was really, really fun to have him on the other night, and killed it.
Yeah, no, exactly. It was good.
Nice.
And we got Trevor Updash with us. He's back. He's rested after a grueling John Reed Memorial Tournament. Rupper, how's it going?
Horrible, actually. I've had a really long day. I was dog sitting for my mom for the last 2 weeks while she was in Mexico. So I had to bring the dog to work today and pick her up from the airport, but the dog's old. She's 14 years old and she's got like banged up legs, so she can't walk very well. So I had to drop her off at my mom's house. She had to go pee. I had to feed her. Then I had to go back. Anyways, here I got a real question to ask for you guys. I know this is just the start of the pod, but I'm hot because I literally just got home maybe 25 minutes ago from picking my mom up at the airport. How do you guys live in Edmonton? I really don't understand. So my mom lives in
You've only
Millwoods.
lived in St. Albert for 2 years, dude.
Yeah, but I'm St. Albert for life. I'm telling you guys straight up that St. Albert is 10 times, billion times better than Millwoods than Edmonton. I can't even believe I lived in that city for so long. I'm telling you right now, it took me 45 minutes. Listen, it took me 45 minutes to get from Millwoods to the highway to like QE2.
Henday. Oh,
whatever you want to call it. So
why didn't
this
you
is
go
what
to
I'm doing.
Henday, dude?
You're not listening. You're interrupting. So what I did is I driving to pick up my mom. I left at 5:30. I hear the radio. I was listening 92.5, quick plug. And they go, oh, stay clear of the southeast leg of the Henday. Both ways are backed up. So I pulled an audible and I just went to Ellerslie Road. Ellerslie Road was an absolute disaster too. I don't even know how people can live in Summerside, Millwoods, anywhere on that south side. The road system in this city. Well, I'm not even in the city anymore. I'm a proud St. Albertan.
Got a boy Rupper?
Did you hear my wife just beacon in the background there? Hun?
Sold is sold
Holy
to St.
smokes.
Albert, eh? So,
Anyways, I don't care. Anyways, this is why I'm so hot. Because I want to tell you guys something. Your $100 million bike lanes that nobody uses. Your taxes, Edmonton taxes are going up 5% for the next 5 years. So I got heat. A lot of my buddies were like, oh, you're moving to St. Albert, taxes. Oh, you're a rich guy. Taxes so high. I'm going to be cheaper than you guys in 5 years. Not even 5 years, maybe 1 year. Because your bike lanes and your shitty roads, man. Anyways, guys, I'm sorry. I know I went off tangent. It's been a fun interview so far.
No,
I might
you went
just
on
mute
a
this.
Tangent. You went off script.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I you know what? I'm sorry, guys. I'm just so hot about it because I was basically in a whirlwind for 12 straight hours today with the dog and picking up my mom and the shitty roads and the shitty weather and just Edmonton in itself.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry. Back to the podcast, everybody.
Exactly.
Sponsored by Free Bars. They got a new free bar, by the way. Apple Crisp.
It's
Fantastic.
good.
Tastes great.
It's really
Yeah.
good.
Yeah,
I know it is.
Yeah, and our last but not least, we got Brody McIntyre with us. Broads, how's it going?
I'm in a good mood because Rupper's here, and I was really just excited to see what happens with Rupper. And we're 4 minutes in, and he's already gone on a tangent.
You missed it with our guest today, Matt Berlin. So he joined the interview about 2 minutes late, and he goes. Well, you guys will hear it when we get there. I'm not going to ruin it for you, so our listeners can hear it when that interview comes up here shortly. But pretty hilarious, to be honest. So we're. I think we
on your toes.
I think we talked about editing it out, but Vandy's like, no, keep it in. So
man, don't edit that stuff out.
Yeah, so
it's harmless.
We'll keep it in and see what kind of laughs we get out of that. But speaking of non-laughs, I guess you could say, we like to move to some current events, what's going on in the NHL after everyone's done their intro here. And this is kind of our roundtable, and we're going to do some of these pods maybe once a week, maybe once every 10 days. And then obviously we have an interview guests, and some of we'll mix our interview guests with some of these pods. But Vandy, you've kind of been on this one for a bit here with Trevor Zegras. Thoughts on him and what's going on with that kid lately?
Well, it's the new wave of the NHL. You're seeing these young kids come in and they're cocky and they're skilled and they're doing stuff that we've never seen or probably even attempted. And now the problem is you take fighting out of the game, and these kids now take center stage, and it's like, oh God, it drives me bonkers. Like, he's gonna get his sooner or later, whether it be clean or dirty, it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Everybody gets caught. And I don't know what was said between him and Stetcher, but regardless, obviously it set him off and he got him off his game.
Yeah.
If you want to be that kind of guy, you got to be able to back it up, in my eyes. But I get tweets about my comments on Twitter and oh, you're old school, you're a meathead, and whatever. I don't care.
Hey man, John Scott, friend of the pod, just said on his episode on Monday that he will never have Trevor Zegras ever again on his. Well, he's never had him on, but he's like, I'll never have that guy on my pod. Yeah, he's like, I'll never have that guy on. So he'll never have Vander Kane on either. Those two guys that are never welcome on his pod. But he just said, he's like, from what he knew and what he saw, he thinks that was true. Obviously, on Insider Trading last night, a good friend of ours on the pod, Darren Dreger, said that the NHL did an investigation and they could find nothing to find any suspension worthy stuff for Trevor Zegras. But Broads, kind of your thoughts. What's your thoughts on, obviously, Trevor Zegras, the face of the NHL? He's on the NHL cover for EA Sports, but thoughts on what he's doing for the game and some of his antics, and obviously got Brad Marchand off his game too, not too long ago.
I think if you're starting with his antics, I believe that he didn't say anything about his dead dad or anything like that. I think if he did, he would it would have come out by now, and Sketcher would have said something. The NHL would have said something. So I don't think he said something like that.
Yeah,
I think what he said was offside, whatever it was. And that's, in my opinion, that's part of the game. But to Vandy's point, you don't have to pay the price anymore, Vandy. Like, that's the way it is in the NHL. You don't have to anymore. He can go do that anywhere he wants, and nothing probably will ever happen to him, because that's the world we live in with the NHL. Like, we watched Vandy, we saw that awesome big brawl in the SJHL. There was 3 gloves on the ice, right? They were just wrestling around, and that was considered a bench line brawl, right? It just doesn't exist anymore.
No.
So that's hockey now. You can do that, and he can go out and score and dance around and do his fancy moves and beat guys all he wants, and nothing's gonna happen.
Yeah. It's
those are facts.
And that is true. Those are facts. Phil, I know I think I sent you the John Scott interview, but what did you think of what his comments were of Trevor Zegras and kind of, Trevor Zegras as a player too, the face of the NHL?
Well, I don't know who John Scott's co-host is there. Do you remember
Tim,
who that is?
Tim.
Yeah, but they were like both basically like write the guy off, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like my thoughts are like when I'm watching my kids at practice, what are they trying to do? They're trying to do the Michigan. They're trying to lift the puck up on their stick. They're doing, like, I'll go downstairs. My boys are watching Trevor Zegras highlights because it's cool, right? It's fun. And this guy is one of the faces of the NHL. So I don't know if someone in that organization needs to get a hold of him and say, like, hey, clean it up, knock it off. There's cameras everywhere in an NHL rink. They're going to find out what he said. I don't know. Like, I'm not a lip reader. I don't know exactly what he said, but whatever he said, like, Stetcher saw red and wanted to kill the guy.
I found
so it was obviously something pretty bad.
Yeah, and I thought it was interesting what John Scott said, because he was with the Arizona Coyotes during that time where he got voted to the All-Star game. And he's like, this organization has a history of coming to players and telling them to keep their mouth shut and telling them what to say. So he suggested that that's what the organization did to Stetcher and told him, this guy's the face, Zegras is the face of the NHL. I think you kind of
We're gonna sweep this under the rug, right?
Yeah, it's pretty much what he said. So
He thinks the team did that or the NHL did that?
he says that he thinks the Coyotes did that. So he's like, let's not make a bigger case of it. That's what he said on his podcast on Monday. He's like,
who the hell said Zegras is the face of the NHL?
Well, that
EA
is
Sports.
EA Sports says it, and the NHL.
You're going to kids, yeah. All right,
So,
I get
but
it.
yeah, Rupper, your thoughts on this?
EA Sports needs to worry about making a decent hockey game for once. They haven't made a good hockey game since
there
fucking
goes
2014, maybe.
It's been a while.
And it was the same game in 2015 and 2016 and 2017.
They don't care.
Yeah.
EA Sports doesn't give a shit. Okay, so anyways,
because we all buy it for our kids every year, Rupper.
Exactly, 100%. I don't play it.
Yeah.
Anyways, I don't know what was said. Whether here's the issue is you have what's his name? I can't even pronounce it. That was the comment was said to Stetcher.
Yeah, Troy Stetcher. Yeah,
he came out and said that he never said nothing about his dad or whatever it is. Now, what did he like? You guys are saying that there's people saying that.
I think what happened.
Maybe the NHL came in, but the bottom line is here's the situation. We're in the year 2023 where social media is the biggest, best thing on the planet to everybody. So this gets out in 5 seconds without anybody even getting to the bottom of exactly what happened, and then it takes a life on its own, and then people just start making decisions on social media without doing their own homework.
Mm-hmm.
Well, exactly, right? So there's been these kind of players at the dawn of time. Ken Linsman, Brad Marchand, Kachuk.
Okay.
It could go down. It could keep going and going and going and going. But the thing is at least those guys had to answer the bell for some of the stuff that maybe they did or said. And now that's not, like you guys are talking about, that doesn't happen anymore. So I don't know if it takes a teammate to drag him aside and say, listen, like, you're a talent of all talents, so let's knock this shit off. I don't know. And I'm not even against some of the stuff. I don't even know what the other stuff he's doing.
Was one of the best at it.
Yeah.
There you go, right? So
I mean, he's got to have a conversation with him.
Day until I know exactly what was said, then I can make an actual comment, a logical comment on it. I can't,
but I think there's what I know. There's some history here, obviously, with what he's done in the past too. This is not like, I'm not saying this is the first time there's been
Troy Terry got his head pounded in.
Yeah. And for him. And then obviously look at Brad Marchand. Brad Marchand went at Craig Customs, who's the beat reporter for the Arizona Coyotes, and told him shut his pie hole. So
that was awesome.
That was in that, like, even today, Brad Marchand was in it with the Leafs media on Twitter too before the game too.
That was the best.
Going at it with Steve Dangle.
Martyr talking about his dog.
Yeah, his dog and his shoes and his skates and stuff, right? But yeah, it's just that, and that's kind of what's happening. But I'm like, I think that's where John Scott goes and he makes his comments, or he goes off of what he thinks. He's like, when Brad Marchand's tweeting to saying this, then it's like, players know, right? Not everything gets out when the players know, but it is interesting. We'll see what happens going forward. These guys play each other in April, so we'll see if there's kind of any repercussions or whatnot, or if Troy Ster.
And there'll be zero. Nothing's gonna happen.
No, nothing's gonna happen.
What do you think? It's gonna be Colorado and the Red Wings again?
No, we'll never see that again for sure.
Listen,
so
hockey on the ice is a bully man's game.
Yeah.
You've got 11 guys at one time, maybe excluding the goalies, but you got guys trying to, and I get to play devil's advocate. I get what Zegras is doing. He's trying to, create space for himself, but he's doing it in the wrong way.
Yeah.
He's, create space by being a physical or learning how to play a little bit, maybe change your game a bit, but yapping, no, that's just...
I can't even believe this is coming from you, the biggest shit disturber the Junior B has ever seen in the history of the CJHL. This is hilarious.
I know, but I get where he's coming from, but I mean, like, the yapping, somebody's got to put make him swallow his teeth.
Yeah.
Do something. Teach him a
They
lesson.
won't.
And that's pretty much what John Scott said. He's like, I hope the next time they play, someone pumps his eyes shut. So
That won't happen. But
yeah.
I mean, Pat Verbeek, the GM of Anaheim, he's gonna rein him in and go, look, you can't be doing this.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see.
There's different ways to create space and be a bully, because and bully's such a negative connotation, but I mean, you're trying to create space for yourself, but yapping isn't going to do it.
No.
Verbeek should just take
Who's the leadership group in Anaheim?
Say, Verbeek could do that. Spend 3 hours with him and show him 87 different things that he could do to help add to his game.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah,
there really isn't.
Who's the leadership group in Anaheim?
There really isn't.
Yeah, you got Adam.
There's nothing, eh?
Adam Henrique and Cam Fowler and
Shattenkirk.
Yeah, Strom.
Garrett Grant.
Those are your guys, right? So
Gibson.
They don't have Getzy there anymore.
No,
right?
but I mean, they're still involved. Somebody's going to take him aside.
Yeah,
you
would think for sure. All right, let's start our interview with Matt Berlin. We'll be back after this interview for some more content and some more roundtable discussion. All right, that interview with Matt Berlin was brought to you by our friends at Shadify Salon and Barbershop. I'd like to thank Shaddy and the team there for sponsoring that segment. And Rupper, I guess we'll throw to you. I know Broads missed this one, but just a quick recap of that interview and kind of the thoughts that you had and the joking around that you had with Matt.
You know what? I think he's probably been in a little bit of a whirlwind for 3 or 4 days, and you got to keep it lighthearted, I think, with him. So kind of when he came on there, I was giving him the "Who are you?" Thing, and he had a bit of a chuckle. And you know what? I think those guys appreciate it. Like, hockey and life and stuff can't be so serious all the time, right? So I like to bring a different side of things. And who knows? You know what? But what an incredible moment for him. I know there's some people out there probably on social media that are like, why did this kid get in? You know what? That's every kid's dream. This kid played 1 game in the NHL. He played 2 minutes. He got a shot. He stopped it. There's number 1 draft picks that haven't even done that. And that's incredible. So let him live the moment as long as it can. If it was me, I'd retire after 1 game and just call it quits, because I think you've done everything you can. But anyways, good on him, and it was a great interview. He's a humble kid, well spoken. You can tell he's going to university and getting smart.
Yeah. Phil, your thoughts? And very well said, Rupper. But Phil, your thoughts? Throw to you here.
Yeah, I say good on him. Like, something to be proud of. It's a really good story too, right? Like when I kind of mentioned in the podcast, like Bosco and I played ball hockey with a guy who got to go sit in the locker room for the Flames, and we were all like around him, like, and then what happened, and then what happened, and then what happened, and it was just like the most exciting thing ever. But this kid actually like got to go on the ice and play some like actual NHL time, so it was really fun having him on. And I'm kind of along the same lines as Rupper. Like, good for him.
Yeah,
go for it.
Yeah, Vandy, your thoughts?
Well, I mean, look, I expressed my feelings on what the others did.
We're gonna get to that. Don't worry.
But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Yeah. I mean, the kid got to, like Trev said, the kid got to live his dream. Good for him.
Yeah,
I love it. I love stories like that. He made the most of it, and good on him. And he's a SSAC alumni. I love it.
No big deal.
Yeah,
no big deal.
Yeah. Broads, I know you weren't there for the interview, but you got to watch it and see it and all that. But your thoughts on obviously him getting his moment in the NHL?
I love that he did get a moment, because he will be 80 years old telling his grandkids about the day he played in the NHL, man. That's super cool. The only thing that pisses me off about it is people on either side of it. Everybody have their opinions,
Yeah.
but when you go to the extent where you're losing your marbles, like who cares? Like, it's not that big of a deal. Sure, the NHL could fix this, or this could happen, or it's not embarrassing. It's not embarrassing. Okay, like it's not a big deal. This guy got to live a moment that he'll never forget ever again in his life. So just enjoy it and move on.
Yeah,
and good for the kid, man, because that's unbelievable.
Yeah, I thought a good comment was made. Is Jamie McLennan made this comment not yesterday, but the day before on his show on TSN Overdrive, and he's like, a guy like him, like Matt Berlin, should be on an NHL contract making $300,000 a year, though. Not the league minimum, but being the third goaltender where he gets to travel with the team. He doesn't count against the cap, and he give him $300K, maybe $400K, and that's his job. You know, kind of you give back to those guys that have played in the dub and you know, gone to university, and they kind of relieve the, you know, the practice schedule on the starting goaltender or the backup goaltender, whoever's playing. So you limit the injuries in net. And then when situations just happen, you know, they get their moment. So that was kind of what Jamie McLennan, like his way of like kind of fixing it. Cause I know there were some comments between, you know, Jeff O'Neill and Ryan Callahan during that segment. And, you know, I had my thoughts too on on Twitter. And then I took an absolute beating from other fans. So, you know, I thought it was good because I wasn't taking away the moment of him. You know, you got to give him credit for what happened. And I think that's pretty amazing. You know, when you talk to like Elliot Friedman says all the time, just to play one game in the NHL says a lot about what you've gone through to get to that level. So,
100%.
You know, and I think that's what's cool about Matt is because he's paid his dues, right? It's not like he was a guy that was, you know, turning a calculator over and then, you know, like the Scott Foster situation in Chicago where he's an accountant and all of a sudden he's 32 years old or whatever he is, he's in an NHL game. Like, you know, at least Matt's like slowly removed from, you know, junior hockey, but playing competitive hockey in U of A, right?
And he grinded. Did you ever Google him?
Oh yeah.
He's backup goaltender and
it's all over the place.
Yeah, he's, you know, the third goaltender for the Golden Bears, but he's actually outplayed. Like, you don't want to, I'm not trying to jam up Nolan Schneider, but like he's outplayed Schneider at this point. And Schneider played with the Calgary Flames organization not too long ago in the minors. But sorry, Rupper, go ahead.
I like what you're saying there about I can't even believe that hasn't been discussed about just having a guy. You know, you're talking $300,000. I mean, if anybody's listening out there, I'll do it for $200 in meal money. You know what I mean? But that sounds crazy that hasn't even been discussed. And I'm not, like I said, I'm with you guys. I don't want to take anything away from some of these guys and their stories that, you know, we have had a Zamboni driver and this guy and that guy, but to not have, you know, somebody at least in the building, right, at that moment that they can, like, that seems crazy, man. Have you guys, Kate, and this is off topic just a smidge, but it really isn't. Have you guys read the NHL rule about if the refs get hurt, who has to ref the game?
No,
the coaches,
the players.
Oh,
players.
Yeah.
Players.
Come on.
Like, no backups and stuff. Like, I'm telling you, it's in the rule book, dude.
Yeah. In the playoffs, they always have a third referee there just in case. But in the
okay, what happens if he gets injured?
In the regular
season, that's what I'm
saying.
Yeah.
In a playoff game, the players.
Yeah. That would be pretty crazy for three refs to go down. Like, you know.
Yeah.
Well, no, I know it is pretty crazy.
Well, there was an example of it, like the weather.
The last 3 years,
the referees didn't make it to the game because of weather.
That was the linesmen, and the linesmen helped out that game, right? So that was an Edmonton game here.
I thought I'd seen it all.
But, of course, it was an Edmonton game. Fucking everything that ever happens is at an Edmonton game. A first win, a first shutout. Guy scores his career point. Just Jesus, just keep adding up.
Yeah. So. But anyways, I thought it was pretty cool. But yeah, like I think
unbelievable. It's an unbelievable story.
Yeah, exactly. You know,
let's celebrate the story.
And you can hear it in the interview. Yeah,
argue on the other side too, right?
You can. There can be an argument to be made there. So I think, and that's the thing is, I think like Jeff O'Neill, he's like, if I'm, you know, he's like, I don't know. He's like, I don't know if Max Domi's going to play there next year. But that was him thinking old school, right? Jeff O'Neill is old school player. He just said, he's like, it's not like he came in for an injury. He came in, to get a moment. And Jeff O'Neill was pretty passionate about it, where he's like, if I was in Carolina, my fourth line, the next shift they go out there, it's a line brawl. It's like that. This doesn't happen anymore. Ryan Callahan
just saying.
Yeah. So but he said, Ryan Callahan goes, he's like, it wouldn't be surprised next year if Domi is on that team. That's the thing he does, because they're not going to play each other again this year. So he's like, if Domi's on that team, what does it happen? And there are kind of comments too, like Jamie McLennan brought that part up of, the 300K, but he's like, you got to think at some point in you're sitting in that locker room in Chicago, and like, the year hasn't been great for them, but some of those guys have won 3 cups in that room.
Bosco, I think the mentality of a player is different.
Yeah,
maybe
probably
is
still right? There. Yeah,
it 100%. We just talked about it.
Yeah,
with the Zegers thing, it 100% is different.
Yeah.
Did you guys hear Randall Shog's take on it?
No, I didn't.
I liked his, man. He said if both Woodcroft and McDavid opened up their post-game interviews with, we meant no disrespect to Chicago, blah, 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 and then went on about the moment. He goes, meaning that they were worried that it might be disrespectful to Chicago.
Yeah.
Which means it probably could have been. I'm not saying it was or wasn't, but
and I think
they were obviously concerned about it.
Yeah. And that was like a thing that was brought up on Overdrive on Tuesday or Monday or whatever it was. That was the kind of the theme of the question when they had Ryan Callahan on is that they're like, if you're opening up your press conference and the first word you're saying, we meant no disrespect, you actually disrespected them. That's what they said. They played the game. They're old school, but
we're celebrating Maddie tonight.
Exactly.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, stick taps.
I think the Chicago players were just looking forward to the All-Star break, probably. Hey,
exactly. Yeah, for sure. But Broad, you've been pretty hot here with the Oilers. Yeah, every time they win, you're jumping in the group chat here, the internal group chat. But where do you think things are at? It's weird because Stoff lately he's not saying they're going to get a defenseman. So and usually Stoff is. In my opinion, is pretty right on what happens here, but he's now saying that he doesn't think that they're going to get a defenseman, and it'll be Broberg who will end up taking over that spot over Kulak. But your thoughts on the Oilers and what they can do at the deadline here?
I think that is a massive mistake if they don't go get a defenseman. Sure, Broberg's playing well. Like it's awesome. That's a great thing, but he is nowhere near a second pairing defenseman. So the fact that he's playing well is great. How about him and Kulak battling out in the playoffs for the third pairing? They need to go get a second pairing defenseman
with term, I think.
Left side, even on the right. To me, Bouchard's really struggling. I don't think he's going to be very good at all in the playoffs. Not to be an asshole, but they could get 2. They could get 2. To me, they need 2, but they need at least 1, or they have no chance. And they need to do it. They need to get on it. However they need to do it, figure it out, get it done. And there's lots of good names. I wrote down some good names. What happened to Ekholm? Is he available, or was that just like a one-time thing we heard like a month ago?
Because they got in, like when we talked about it, they were out
Nashville's
of the race.
rolling now,
and
dude.
Now they're rolling. So he's probably off the board. I wouldn't think they would be able to get him because they're in the middle of it right now. So
that sucks. There's names like Gavrikov. Did anybody watch when Oilers played Columbus? How was he?
Yeah, didn't really stand out to me, to be honest. Like it wasn't.
That's
like
okay.
Anything. Yeah,
that's a good thing, isn't it?
I was gonna say that's probably a good thing, right? It's not like, they say he's a physical defenseman, but he's actually not that physical. But he's simple, right? So he's big.
Simple is good.
Yep.
What about Edmonton? How's he? Is he coming around yet?
I like him a lot. There's character, and you got term with him too. So
yeah, and cheap.
Yes. So I know there's the talk that he's injury
prone. Is that Joel?
Yeah. But he's won a
He'd
cup.
He'd be good at big, strong defender.
He's won a cup
defenseman.
Yeah, he's won a cup, and he's been able to work with younger defensemen to mold them in too, right? And I think
I'd be all over Matt Dunba as well.
Yeah, I know he's a right shot, but
I know he's a righty, but
you need, like you're saying, you need righty there. Like he got healthy scratch 2 games in a row, and Minnesota lost those 2 games, and now they were in the middle of it, and they're falling out of the race now. So
I'd be all over that one.
Yeah,
to me, he'd be unbelievable in the playoffs.
Yeah,
way better than Barry, way better than Bouchard. Right, throw him in there. would be another good name. And then I don't know. You keep hearing Chikrin, but I don't know much about him other than he's having a really good year.
Yeah.
And he's injury prone.
Yeah.
So there's lots of good names. But the other thing you got to think about, guys, is Holland has never been known for getting the big names, right? He's not going to get the A guys. He always just sneaky gets just dudes, fillers.
Yeah.
And I got a list on forwards too, but we'll get to that when you're ready for that.
Yeah. Kind of what your thoughts are, Rupper, on kind of this topic and where things are at.
Yeah, well, I made this list. Edmondson guy, a Dumba. I'm just kidding. You know what? I honestly, guys, I think that everybody, like the fans now, are expecting these big deals come trade deadlines, and I just don't think they're going to happen anymore. I think the salary cap's hindering that, and there's not much wiggle room.
Yeah, the thing is, we just saw one with Bo Horvat, right? But that was on the writing was on the wall on that one. That was like there's no brainer that he was moving. But
okay, so is that one out of 100 deals now, or that? When
everyone knew he was getting moved, right?
That's why I don't even bring it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, but think of it this way too: is Lou made that trade early, and now if they're completely out of it by the deadline, what is there? 2 weeks?
3 weeks, right? So
3 weeks. So if there's no chance, now you can move Horvat again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not a bad move, right? Like he's, like we're pretty much actually 4 weeks. I think it's the 1st. So yeah, we're 4 weeks away. So March 1st is the deadline, I believe. So, or March 3rd, around there. So yeah, you've got a month here to see where you're at. Obviously, you're off for a couple of days here because the bye week and the All-Star break and whatnot.
Well,
back in. But
can I ask a question? Sorry. Is Bo Horvat representing the Vancouver Canucks at the All-Star game? Did I hear that?
Yeah,
he's out now.
Is he out? Okay, I didn't see that. Yeah.
I heard they replaced him with somebody.
Yeah, well, Seattle doesn't have anyone going because Bernier's got hurt and he got replaced. So maybe they'll find someone from Seattle to go because that Gary Bettman is big on every team's got to have a representative, and Seattle's the only team that doesn't have a team player going, right?
Just cancel the whole goddamn All-Star.
Oh, it's a joke.
Sorry, I know we're really going off here because I want to get into the All-Star talk. Do you guys even watch the All-Star game anymore?
No.
Skills.
I only watch
You don't watch the skills. You're telling me you watch the skills with them shooting pucks at let's get 21 and let's skip it off the water. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah,
I liked it. I liked it what they did last year.
Yeah,
you're lying. You're lying. You're lying.
Yeah, that seems very not up your alley at all, Clay. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like Rupper's right. You're lying.
But get back on topic here. I think it's interesting. We'll see what happens. The deadline has a lot of moving parts for sure. But Vandy, I guess kind of move to you here and get your initial thoughts on this and see where things are at with the Oilers. Obviously 7-0-1 in their last 8 games, and Stoff put out the numbers, and they're killing it, and they're great, and they're perfect, and everything's all rosy and great in Oiler land. And where probably they need to be. And obviously Campbell's has found his game.
Well, they are. Are you jealous?
What's that?
Are you jealous?
No, I'm not jealous.
They are. We are. Things are going good. This is we're hitting a peak.
I think it's important. I think it's an injustice if McDavid isn't in the playoffs. So I definitely think, a player like him should always be in the playoffs. I think it's great for the game. And seeing where they're at. But at the end of the day, it's getting off topic here with Boston, but no one's beating them. Like it's unreal. Like this team.
They're gonna win the cup. Give them the cup.
Well, I honestly think they will. I don't know what they're but we're getting off topic. We're talking about the Oilers. We'll get to the Bruins in a second. But your thoughts on the Oilers, Vandy?
No, they're at a height right now. I mean, the season is full of ups and downs and peaks and valleys and all that. And we're, enjoy the peak. We're on a roll. We're playing good hockey. I mean, we could come off the All-Star break and boom, drop 4 in a row and be out of a wild card spot, that kind of thing. But I think you know, I don't know what is out there and what you can get. I have trust in what they're doing, and
I don't expect much, to be honest, guys. I don't, because
whatever. Even if they don't, I think we have enough to get into the playoffs, and that's all you ask for.
Yeah,
you just want to get in there. That's it.
Anything can happen.
Yeah, all you need to do is get in there, and that's let's ask Calgary where they are at right now. Hey, Phil.
Yeah, that's where we're moving to, because I don't really need, like, no disrespect to Phil and the Oilers talk, but Phil's our Calgary Flames beat reporter here. So, Phil, your thoughts on the Calgary Flames, brought to you by our friends at Martelou Barbershop in Calgary, Nick and his team. Phil, thoughts on the Flaming Sea, the Sea of Red, and what's going down in the South and Calgary Flame land right now?
I just don't understand this team, like, at all. We show up against Tampa Bay and just dominate them on that Saturday afternoon game, and then we can't get a goal against was it the third string goalie against Chicago?
Yeah,
and we just can't get a goal. It's gonna be really interesting here coming up with what happens with Chris Tanev. Not really sure that situation. I don't know if you've heard anything, Bosco, on Tanev.
He should be back soon, but this kind of, when did the Ron McLean interview and actually listening back to it, and he touched on Oliver Shillington. Tell me another team in the NHL that's going to do really well when they lose their two of their top 4 defensemen. That's pretty much what happened, because Tanev and Shillington were their number 1 and 2 defensemen last year. The one guy,
Shillington.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he had over 29. I think he had over 30 points. He had a pretty good year last year, and he was able to move the puck.
But he can skate.
Yeah,
the kid can skate too.
So you had the one defenseman that was able to shut it down, and when they were able to shut it down and retrieve pucks, you had the other guy, Shillington, who was able to get the puck out and get the puck up to the forward. So, and he's it's been very quiet on what's happened with him, and I don't think he's coming back anytime soon. So, you lose, and the record alone without Tanev in the lineup is very concerning. But and I know, there's the comments that Daryl has said, and he finds different ways to motivate his players, and he doesn't like the smaller players that don't really do much. He likes kind of the big guys, and and it's weird saying that, because Gaudreau was actually unreal for him and had his best season under him, and he's an undersized player. But I think it was just learning the game too. But sorry, Phil, go ahead with whatever more you want to add to that.
It's all good. I think that's pretty spot on. I actually really like Peltier on that second line with Huberdeau and Kadri, though. Like, the kid can talk about a kid who can skate. Like, he is quick, and I do think the Flames are lacking some speed. It's just going back to, like, what you said, like, you've lost your top 2 defensemen, and at the end of the day, we've lost Tkachuk and Gaudreau too. And no disrespect to Huberdeau and Kadri, but they're not Tkachuk and Gaudreau.
Yeah.
So
and I think, I don't know, we'll see what happens. Markstrom's had his ups and downs, and he was at Ranchman's the other night, and he was #in1, so all over Instagram and Facebook and Twitter and all that. So maybe that gets him going. And all the guys are in Mexico right now. I think 80% of the team is together in Mexico. So, we'll see what happens there. That's more of a team bonding thing, but Vladar has played unreal.
Exactly.
For them. So, your thoughts on
for
Vladar?
sure. And it's like Vandy said, right? The Oilers could come off the All-Star break and lose 4 in a row. The Flames could come back and win 4 in a row. And then where are they in the Pacific, right? That Pacific is so tight. Like who knows who's going to get in?
Yeah. And
Flames are going on a heater if they're all on vacation together. 100%.
Yeah. At 90, I think it is. I think it's 70 to 80% of the team is together in Mexico. So there's just a few guys. Yeah. So so I do find that interesting that most of them kind of went on the same trip together for a week, and they come back and they start on the road. But Vandy, your thoughts? I know kind of you throw some things in the chat about Sutter and whatnot, and is this the time? Does they move on from him or whatever? But how do you get the Flames going here, Van?
Well, a Mexico trip will do wonders in February. No, I mean, Sutter I think he'll get him turned around. I don't think, they haven't quit on him. None of that BS. I think it's stuff we said before. It's, they're trying to find their groove and they're not getting timely goaltending. They need that. And maybe, this break, everybody thinks, oh yeah, they're going to go but mentally too, for these guys, it pays off in the long run. It's not like the Flames are out of it.
Yeah.
Right. They're not in the thick of things in the actual division, but our Oilers aren't either. And we went on a 4, 5, 7 game run here too. So it's, the Flames could right away, they win 7 in a row and boom. Now we're going, is Seattle going to make playoffs?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And they haven't really fallen off Seattle. They've had a little like that. They've had the odd little blip here, but they've been pretty much good. Yeah. LA's been back and forth with what's going on with them, but now they found some stable goaltending. But they blew a big one last night against the Carolina Hurricanes. We'll get to them in a second because if it's not Boston, it's going to be Carolina, in my opinion. But I think the Cup is going out east this year. But I think it'll be one of those two teams. And obviously, the way Carolina pumped Boston the other night was pretty impressive too. But, Rupper, any thoughts on the Flames here?
No comment. Not a Flames fan. Next topic.
All right. And Broads, yourself?
I heard an interesting stat, and I may have it off by a little bit, but I don't think I do. The Flames, up until that Pelche kid played, were the only team in the National Hockey League to not play someone 21 years or younger this season.
Yeah, that's very true. Right,
that's crazy.
Yeah, but that's Daryl Sutter hockey in a way, right?
That's Daryl Sutter. Yeah. That's not good for the organization, though.
Yeah,
Phil, sorry to tell you, pal. That bodes. Not good, my friend. Not good at all.
Yeah, but their minor hockey.
Well, what do you?
Their AHL team is really good, so it's not like they don't have the players. It's just they have a coach that doesn't want to play those players, right? So
that's how you develop, my friend. I know it's not a development league, but
no, I agree. You got to award the kids at some point here, right? So can't have them be a healthy scratch at some point here. You got to find ways to get them into the lineup and see what they can do for you. And it's been seen before here in Edmonton. Yamamoto called up in December that 1 year and went on a heater with Nugent Hopkins and Draisaitl. So why can't something like that happen in Calgary with one of their players too, where he gets called up and gets put in the top 6 role and wins and does good. But I think the shelf life is very short, and Daryl goes with what he thinks he knows and what he won in LA with and what he's done in his career too. So but yeah, I think we'll find interesting there. And a tough blow for the Vegas Golden Knights with Mark Stone going for a second back surgery, and he's out indefinitely. So we hope all the best to him and his return to the game. But that's a big blow, and that team is completely. Talk about Tanev being the Flames being completely different without Tanev. That Vegas team is night and day when Mark Stone is not in the lineup, and we'll see what happens there because that could be a.
Can I just say something about the Vegas Golden Knights?
Yep.
I think the very first podcast I came on, it was you, me, and Vandy, and I said it's over. They won the Pacific. And I don't think they've won a game since I said that, hey?
Yeah, you've been cursing them.
Oh, Broads, you were on too, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Say it again.
It's all my fault.
Say it again.
Yeah.
It's over.
It's over.
The Oilers are winning the Pacific.
Yeah.
This guy's got a Saddle Dome picture as his thing. Exactly. Like, this is incredible.
Yeah. Rupper here. We'll get your thoughts on the Carolina Hurricanes. They're 9-0-1 in their last 10. They're on a 7-game heater right now. They're just it's such a good team. Jordan Martinook, friend of the pod's been on with us before, but they're 34-9-8. They're first in their division. Thoughts on this team and what they bring to the table too?
Well, I picked them for the last few years to finish first out in that conference, but they've had the Tampa Bay Lightning with them and Boston, and it's tough. It's tough to come out of that side. And every year that I say it's their year, something happens, and it just is what it is. They're deep. They got great goaltending, and they got great coaching. I know you guys are heavy on the East, but I have to tell you guys that Colorado's getting healthy, and that's a team that I'm worried about big time.
Yeah, they're once they get all their guys back, and they are coming back. There's no reports of those guys that are injured that are going to miss any time going into the playoffs. They'll be back before the playoffs start, and they have been a better team as of late. That was a team I thought Bo Horvat was going to go to, but Broad, your thoughts on kind of this situation developing in the NHL here with the Carolina Hurricanes, the Bruins, and what we're seeing right now?
Well, what I'm seeing is I watched Carolina play LA last night. I watched the end of the second and the third where they just dismantled LA. They looked like, it was like Harlamov over to Makarov. Like they had the puck in the zone. They must have had possession 70% of the time in the third period. They were special to watch. Like they were unbelievable. And I actually started laughing watching them play. I go, man, this team was loaded last year. Didn't quite make it. So what do? They had Brent Burns, like absolute stud right shot defenseman. I'm just gonna add Brent Burns to the
1,300 games the other night, right? So,
oh man, he was so good yesterday too. What did they trade for him, or what did they do? How did they even get?
Pretty much just got him for a salary dump, to be honest. I think.
Yep. Oh my god.
It's just retain money too, and just get him out of there. So was kind of how that was. And obviously Pacioretty back for 5 games, and then tears his Achilles ligament, so they'll get a lot of cap relief there. That
was gross.
Yeah. He might be done.
Yeah, 34 years old.
Yeah.
Frick, man. Is it the same one or is it the other one?
I think it's the same one. And he was just skating. There was no contact.
He didn't even do it. He was
just standing. He was the goal line guy
in the corner. He was standing on the goal. Yeah. He was the low guy.
Yeah.
Like, what just happened?
But the same thing happened to Mark Pesic in he's with Detroit now, but he tore his in the summer, and then he during rehab he retore it again. So that happened to both guys here. So tough blow to both of them. One's an Edmonton boy too, but and he kind of had a resurgence Pesic last year with Buffalo and signed a good deal with the Detroit Red Wings. But we'll see what happens. Vandy, your thoughts on the Carolina Hurricanes?
They're right up there. I don't know if Colorado. I think we're gonna see a T-Bay where if Landeskog is maybe a 4 or 5 games away, I think they let him sit out and they pick up a big boy at the deadline, and I think we're seeing
CMAC, who's their GM, good friends, he just said he's coming back, so before the playoffs. So
I doubt it.
Yeah.
I think we see a T-Bay.
Yeah.
I think we see a Kucherov and they bring in another big name and they just load up because you're gonna have to. Well, whoever it is, right? Whoever's out there, I don't know. I
Imagine O'Reilly in that lineup. Bring him back.
Bring him back, right?
Like, can you imagine?
It would be interesting for sure. Now it was interesting tonight, Boston and Toronto playing again, and no Matthews, but the Leafs they holded their own for the most part of the game, and then Boston just took over. And I just think this team's unreal, guys. Like, they rarely lose. Luch was on John Scott's podcast, and I was listening to that, and he just like glowingly, you can tell his heart is always with Boston, and just the character that room brings, and Zdeno Chara's on Spit and Chicklets, and just a first class organization. It's kind of crazy to think that they I did remember, but it's just talking when those two guys talked of devastation that we're they won that one cup, but was such a young team. But when they got older, they lost 2 cups, right? So they lost to Chicago and St. Louis. But just a classy organization where they, do all they do is win. But in my opinion, as a Leaf fan, it just shows to me that like you got to get past Tampa because that's who it's going to be. Toronto and Tampa will be in the first round, and they're both sizing each other up. But Tampa will probably get the jump on someone. Picking up some trades here. But yeah, Toronto still got a lot of work to do, in my opinion. And
Bosco, what's the record for the best regular season in the NHL? Is it the Red Wings?
No, I think it's the 72 Habs, I believe, right? So
okay, and what is it? Like Boston's knocking on that door.
No, they'll crush it. They're on pace to crush it. So
nuts.
Yeah.
In this era, I feel that's crazy.
Yeah. First, like Jim Montgomery back in the NHL, right? He was with Dallas and then took a year off and then was the assistant coach with the St. Louis Blues and, his first year coach with the Boston Bruins. And, they got, they got Krejci and Bergeron combined are making under $5 million a year. So it's their 1 and 2 centermen. That definitely helps out. That was a thing that Marchand said today in Toronto. He's like, hey, we got the best top 6 in the NHL because we all make less than $7 million. So tell me a better top 6. We take less to win. So because we take less money so we can win going forward. So Pasternak's a free agent, so we'll see what happens if he resigns or not. But
he's signing there.
Yeah, I'm sure he will.
100%
I'd be surprised if he doesn't, but
and that core, well, I mean, you're going to lose probably 2 of them within a year or 2, but
that's the thing is this is might be their last kick at the can, right? So maybe Bergeron and Krejci retire after this year if they win the cup or not. I don't know. We'll see. Those guys are probably 1 year. Obviously Krejci came back to the NHL. But yeah, to me, it just shows Toronto's been pretty good for most of the year. They've been always in the top 3 of the NHL. But this is the thing is, Samsonov hasn't really done a lot of, taking over the load. And again, Murray's injured. And, again, Murray going to play Ottawa and gets injured in warm up. It's the second time that's happened this year. Former team.
Seriously?
Yep. He was going to play. They played Ottawa the other night. They got pumped 6-2. And he was going to be the starter. He did all the routine in the morning and he led the team out for warm-ups and second shot and third or second shot in warm-ups. Something happened and went to the bench, said I can't play, and they put Samsonov in and Samsonov got lit up and that was his first regulation loss at home, Samsonov all year. So
and you're telling me that's happened twice this year?
That's happened twice. That happened second game of the year. Second game of the year, they thought they were going to play Ottawa. First game they played Montreal, and then the next time they're going to play Ottawa. I think it was the third game of the year actually because they had a back-to-back. But it was the third game of the year, Hockey Night Canada game, and he went in warm-ups and pulled something, and he was out for more than a month. And so now they said he's out 2 games, but some of the media in Toronto are saying different. They think he's out long term, but Toronto said he's out at least 2 games. But and then Matthews, they said Matthews has been fighting things all year. So I just, and I think it comes back to the All-Star. I don't think these guys want to go to the All-Star game. So
of course they don't.
What are they fighting? Come on.
Yeah.
You're fucking treated like royalty.
Yeah.
As Matty B, who was on our podcast, just said, what are you fighting?
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. Like injuries wise, you mean? Yeah. Yeah.
Fuck up.
Yeah.
What the
Well, hey, the NFL guys are saying that, right? Look at Shanahan, right? And the 49ers there, Brock Purdy, for second play of the game, gets hurt, and look at Brett Favre, who played over 200 games, and Brady always played. Right?
Can I tell you why? Yeah, because these guys are they're in way too good a shape.
They're wired. They're wired. Yeah.
They're put some fat on your bone, dude.
Yeah, I don't know. And
laugh at it, but
Toronto's had the most man games lost all year,
kids
right?
And everything they're
and
I don't know. There's no put some fat on your bone, dude.
Yeah. And it's weird
and
for
mix in a beer, cheeseburger.
Yeah. But it's like Jamie McLennan says this all the time. He's like, Toronto's got 4 different buses when they roll into a city because they got their NHL team bus, they got their milkshake bus, and then they got their trainer bus, and they
Yeah.
got the media bus, because all the
Mix in a
they pay money.
donut, an egg McMuffin.
Chicken nuggets.
Like you don't need to have like 2% body fat, man.
Yeah. But
That's true.
Yeah, and they have the most man games lost. I was just saying, Toronto. But yeah, we'll see. I don't know. Obviously, if they don't get over the hump, that'll say a lot of where their organization goes from there, with Dubas without a contract and Sheldon Keefe and whatnot. But I don't really think, like, looking at the roster tonight, to kind of touch on them, like, Wayne Simmons just pumps AJ Greer's eyes shut tonight. Like, AJ Greer scores the 3-1 goal, and Simmons skates over to him and just beats the living piss out of him right off the face off. So, but they got a couple guys in their bottom six that shouldn't be in there. And I'm not saying Wayne Simmons should be there, but they gotta upgrade there. And their back end, I don't know. They're, for the most part, they were holding it up, but it's been tonight was a rough go. But yeah, we'll see what happens there. We'll move on to a few other things here. I think the biggest topic here, guys, and we've had a lot of people kind of reach out, and we haven't really touched on it, but was just the Ivan Provorov and the New York Rangers situation. I know Ron McLean in his interview kind of talked about it a bit, but Provorov, didn't wear the Pride jersey. Rangers didn't even do their Pride night at all. They elected not to do it. But it is in the CBA that players can opt out of these things. They don't need to be a part of them if they don't want to in any event. But, we'll throw to you here first, Phil, and kind of your thoughts. And, we kind of talked about it. You're welcome, bud. So
I'll take first if you want, Phil.
Okay, go ahead, Rubber.
Sure.
Let me put this in another perspective. Okay. I mean, this is gonna, you know what? I don't even know if I'm gonna get roasted for this or anything, but are
well, here, I'll
people
go
asking
first.
for this? Like, no. Are people asking for this? Is the Pride community asking for the NHL players to wear jerseys? Yes or no? Or did the NHL just take this as
every year once?
I understand how it
every
works.
team,
I'm just asking,
every team does it. Yeah.
Okay, but is the Pride community saying we want the NHL to represent us?
No, I think the NHL just kind of goes out of their way to do it. Right?
Okay, so, exactly. To make a statement or to help or to So let me pose this in a different way. Because he got lambasted for his decision.
Correct.
Right? What if they did a Christian jersey night and the NHL players came on the ice with sublimated Jesus jerseys, stretched on a cross, bleeding everywhere? Where would that take the world?
Mm-hmm.
Seriously.
Yeah, no, you're right. And it's
that would be worse than anything then it would be Pride Day or Everybody Matters Day. It would be the worst disaster ever. So why are we busting this guy's chops about saying no? Because why? That's the topic of the last 5 years is that movement. And I'm not trying to sound insensitive, so don't take that the wrong way, people that are listening. Right? It's just if he doesn't want to wear that, that's his right not to wear that. That doesn't mean that he's anti-gay or whatever, or he's against it. That does not mean that at all.
Yeah.
Would you guys agree with me? Yes or no?
Yes.
I agree, because I know Phil and I talked about this off kind of camera, and he's like, how does the Christian community feel if and I know people might laugh at this, but when people call McJesus, right? Like, sure, McDavid.
It's not that nobody's laughing. It's the exact what you're saying. It's the problem is, and I brought this up before, is we're living in 2023, and social media is absolutely the devil. That's what it is. I'm sorry. You're giving people a platform to basically say whatever the hell they want. with no repercussions.
The
And
NHL,
it's
just like the NHL with flipping off.
Yeah,
exactly 100%.
and
No,
I
but
think
it's
this could have been.
true.
I think this could have been handled better by the organization. I understand Scott Lawton, James Henry's, like JVR, both those guys on the Flyers are for this, and Scott Lawton has a brother who is gay. They're very passionate about it, but I do think.
But that doesn't mean, I get what you're saying, but that doesn't mean that Provolov's
against it. No, he doesn't. It doesn't. But my point is, I think the organization could have handled it better, where certain things like this could have been left in house. I know that he didn't go out for warm up. There could have been maybe a different comment made about him not going out for warm up. I don't know. Like they didn't really do it.
what's his name?
But the whole point.
What's his name from? But Bosco, what's his name? Who's the guys that I don't like from sports that Sid and who they're split up now?
You got Cedric Saros with Big Breakfast, and then you got
he went off on a tangent on that.
He was almost crying.
Yeah.
Yes.
He was almost crying.
But
they should be fined $1 million. Where does he get off? Who the fuck is Sid Sixteros?
Yeah, but I think
to
people
say something like that.
Yeah, but I think people, if you know him or
on
follow
this
him,
podcast,
that's
no. Listen,
yeah,
he can come on here, and I get what his character is, but for him to make make comments like that is unjustified and absolutely asinine.
Yeah, I agree with that.
That's political. To me, what he was saying was picking a side and being political about it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Now you have the whole Rangers organization who didn't even take part in it.
But they were the first organization to acknowledge this back when Sean Avery played, by the way, too. Like I just want to say, like, yeah.
Go and go back to Sean Avery. I mean, Sean Avery.
Say what you want, but
he backed what Provolov, did because he's about anyway. The Rangers didn't participate. Now we can go look at the roster and go, okay, who is Russian Orthodox and all that, whatever. You can bring religion into it. Doesn't matter. It doesn't mean that they don't agree with it or not. It just, who cares? That as a team they made a decision, they did it. Ivan Provolov did the same thing. As a human being, as an individual, he made a decision, he didn't do it. Like, it's social media, that's all it is. It's the devil.
It missed, and at the end of the day, it missed the whole point, right? So it, like, the message that was being sent for that day, it missed it because it was all on Provorov, right? So any which way you're trying to do it, or acknowledge and support that community, it missed it. Broads, I don't know what you want to add to this too.
I couldn't agree more with everybody. It's his religion. His religion says this, so he chose not to do it. That's his goddamn right. He can do whatever he wants as far as that. That trumps hockey.
Yeah, exactly.
And he has the right to. And whether you agree or you don't agree with that, then whatever. But it is his right to do it, and people should just move past it already. Like,
I'm
obligated to do it. Who cares?
Yeah, Phil, your thoughts?
Well, it just seems like every night you're watching a hockey game, it's some sort of a night, some sort of a theme night. It's like, when can we just get back to, like, it's just hockey? Why can't we just celebrate a hockey game every night? Do you know what I mean? Like, why do we have to celebrate? Like it's cool to celebrate, but there's probably other ways to celebrate. Like, why are they putting this on jerseys? At the end of the day, it's all about money, because they're going to get these jerseys, they're going to auction them off, and somebody's going to pay a stupid amount of money for them.
100%, man. 100%.
Yeah.
So it's like, why can't we just, quick solution, done with these nights, like make a quick acknowledgement in the middle of the game, like, hey, this is why we're here. This is kind of a cool thing we're backing. Done. Over.
Yeah, maybe.
But they got to make this
TV
big.
Covers it.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
But they've got to make this big ordeal about everything.
Yeah, there's ways you can do it, because you can do 50-50s, and that night of that 50-50 goes to, half of it goes to that charity, the organization donates this, whatever. Yeah, there's ways you can do it where, not every second night the players are wearing a different jersey in warm up of whatever it is. But I don't know. It's It's definitely an interesting topic for sure. And I think that's why we wanted to bring it up. I know we've been busy doing other things and our podcast hasn't been the theme to that, but this is our first time back together as a group. And, I know we're the too much, but, we have a lot of guys that are involved and do interviews. And that's why we got a little bit of a bigger panel tonight.
Email Sid. Get Sid on the pod. See if Sid comes on the 2 months podcast and he's going to have a freak out again about this.
Yeah.
That's what I would love to do.
Yeah.
Or is he too big in his boots to come on?
I don't know.
Like
I could always email him, right? So
do it. Just do it.
Yeah.
Give him my phone.
Well, what did you guys think about Pro Rob's jersey selling out too? What does that tell you?
Weird how the fans are supporting the guy. Like Jesus. I mean, I didn't even want to. I was kind of just joking that I was in a bad mood. Now I'm really in a bad mood.
There you go.
But it's almost bedtime.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you'll be in a good mood here, Rupper. We'll transition over that. I think that's what I don't know if you guys want to add any more to that. We'll finish off with some WHL talk.
It's bedtime.
Yeah, it is getting late. So, but obviously Connor Bedard, sellout here in Calgary, sellout in Red Deer. This guy's selling out rinks in the WHL scene. Broad, your thoughts on the phenom he is and what he's doing and selling out rinks and growing the game?
It's unbelievable. Isn't it great to see like 19,000 or whatever how many people is the
they just showed it here. It's the highest. He's
over 19.
Yeah, so
19,000 people watching a 17-year-old.
Yeah,
and
it's
they said like the
Red
Flames
Deer
have only sold
yesterday.
out like 3 times this year.
Yeah.
Pardon me?
Yeah, the Flames haven't.
The Flames have only sold out 3 times this year, and this WHL game is sold out tonight.
Yeah, the fans have spoken.
It's awesome, man. He's a phenom.
Yeah. No, I think it's
every
great.
team wants him to be coming there back-to-back nights. They're just looking down the schedule. How many times is Regina coming? You can make a fortune.
Oh yeah, just load up on that game for sure. Rupper, your thoughts?
I'm buying every single Young Guns rookie card of this guy's next year, and I'm going to put him in my safe. Okay. I'm going to giggle. I'm going to giggle to the bank.
Yeah.
Let's pump the brakes.
Yeah,
Let's see what he
agree.
does. Yeah. Like, come on.
Yeah.
I get it. I get it. When was the last time the Dub had a star like this, though? Modano?
Might be
Nuge was good, but
Carey
he
Price
wasn't selling out Barnes.
Yeah, Price.
Yeah.
But I know Modano was a big name.
He was for sure. Yeah.
But anyway,
Leon was in the Dub, but he wasn't what Leon is now.
Leon wasn't.
He wasn't.
He didn't play. He didn't play 3-4 years.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it took him some time. Thing is, this is actually a good game too. It's a 5-4 game. It's a tight game.
For who?
It's 5-4 Calgary. Shots are 48-33 for Calgary, and there's 3 minutes left. So it's actually
Regina's going on a PP right now.
Yeah. It's Bedard just got hooked in the slot. I guess Vandy, your thoughts. What he's been able to do, growing the game and putting young fans in the stands and selling out rinks here.
He, what's the term?
Well, he's a generational player, yeah.
Or toe drag release.
Mm-hmm.
Toe drag release. Yeah.
Remember this. This is all. Well, yeah, I guess. And like U11s, it's gone from Michigan to toe drag release.
Yeah.
Oh, thank God. All they want to do is they want to go toe drag and then they want to release. Even Jace,
you gotta tell your U11s to mix in some wrist curls too, bud. It's not just toe drag release.
This guy's got
Listen, they're
cool
still young, man.
How cool is it that 10-year-olds to 17-year-olds across Canada have a hero?
It's awesome.
When was the last time? Western Canada.
It's about time.
Yeah,
it's about time.
You think it's just Western Canada?
Well, no, I think it's all over Canada, but
it's more prevalent here.
I think Connor, for what he's doing in Western Canada, I don't know if our kids have had that.
Oh, okay.
We had with Gretzky and now they got McDavid, but the Oilers don't win, so they don't get.
They don't. My kids don't even like the Oilers.
No, I know, but that's what I mean. They don't. They'll cheer for McDavid, but they're not going to sit and watch him. Bedard, they'll sit and watch Bedard, and I'm like, oh my god, okay. And now it's literally toe drag release, and I'm like, yep, let's go, boys.
Yeah.
But yes, the kids need wrist curls, Trav. They're 9 and 10 years old.
Mhm.
Wow.
And
Get
Phil,
them on the protein shakes, man.
Philadelphia.
Well, I kind of joked around about it in the Ron McLean interview, saying, you know, the Vancouver trading Horvat, they're probably going to get Bedard, and Connor McDavid's been like terrorizing me as a Flames fan for 7 years.
Yeah, you're fucked now.
And if Bedard goes to Vancouver, I just might quit. Like, I might just be done with hockey. So,
Are you guys watching
let's
this
just
right now?
He just missed an open net, and did they score there?
No.
He just missed an
Sorry,
open net.
Phil. We cut you off.
He's so
What
mad.
an
It's all good.
absolute
Yeah, go
gong
ahead,
show
Phil.
going on right here.
Go ahead, Phil.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I don't know what you guys heard. So nothing.
No, you're just saying like obviously you're going to get tormented now because he's going to be a Canuck.
Yeah, if he becomes a Canuck, I was saying like I'm just gonna quit probably watching hockey and being a fan because it's gonna suck being a Flames fan, having to deal with Connor McDavid on Saturday night and then Connor Bedard on Sunday afternoon. Not gonna be very fun.
Yeah, that's what a play there at the end. But no, I think that's very well said. I think this was a good pod. Hopefully everyone enjoys it. I know we didn't get into everything. I know Broad still has his forwards for his Oilers, but we can do.
We got time. We got a month.
Yeah, exactly. So some more research. But anything you guys want to add before we jump out?
If you haven't listen to Ken Hitchcock on Spit and Chicklets. He's unbelievable.
Was it pretty good?
Oh yeah, that Zubov thing when the smoke room,
Zuby room,
all of it. The whole thing is unbelievable.
Yeah.
And
what?
I'm gonna plug your boys.
It was nice to. So hey, hang on one sec, Clay.
You can't even see Rupp. All you see is feet. So
yeah.
To be a guy that you thought was just an absolute dialed-in individual for 40 years of his life, open up a little bit and start joking and
Unbelievable. You're right. Yeah.
Right? Like I wish we could see more of that, to be quite honest with you. Okay, sorry, Vandy, what?
No. Your boys got a big game Saturday night. Lil Hawk.
Yeah, that'll be good.
Yeah.
Leduc.
They're in tough. So holy cow, they're in tough.
It doesn't matter. It's gonna be a slobber knocker, dude.
Yeah, it'll be a good one. Should be two of them. Should be two real good games.
Yeah, you guys play tomorrow night, right?
Tomorrow's KC, and then they got, I don't know what order it is. Do you know, Rupper? They play Calgary and Airdrie.
Bisons.
Yeah, the Bisons. Yeah. Then we play Airdrie on Saturday, and they just this was a goal. They went to video.
Look at all these kids just jumping up and down, man. That is
awesome.
Unreal.
Did Bedard score it?
It looks
Hammy's
like
just lose. Yeah. Hammy doesn't look happy right now.
No.
Hammy's not happy, I bet.
No. But
that guy's speaking of beauties, that guy's a beauty.
Oh yeah, unbelievable. Should see if we could get him on.
Yeah, or
send him a text, bros.
Yeah. Him and Sid.
Yeah.
Yes, Sid.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's it for this week's episode of the 2 Months Podcast. We appreciate everyone joining in, and we'll be back soon. Doug McLean will be our next guest, and we'll be talking some NHL stuff with Mac. And everyone enjoy, and thanks for listening to the Ron McLean interview and for the feedback there. And if you haven't listened to it, check it out when you get a chance. And yeah, there's some other good pods. We like John Scott's. We'll pump his tires any day of the week. Vandy, anything you want to say before we sign out?
Nope. Have a good week.
All right, Phil.
Have a good one, guys.
We're upper.
Manscaped, Free Bars, CDN, Shadified.
Martaloo.
Who else? Yeah, who else am I missing here?
Martaloo Barbershop.
Buy it. Go get haircuts. Buy it all. Use 2 months promo code.
And then Broads, yourself?
I'm good, buddy. Represent it all.
All right. Okay. All right. We'll chat soon, everyone.